Hey y'all, what's up? So it's your girl Sunray coming at you guys with a very urgent prophetic word from the Lord. So let's get right on into it. For the people who this word applies for, you will already know you are at a crossroads. And so what does it mean to be at a crossroads? A crossroad is a highly critical point in your life, whether it be in your job, whether it be in finances, whatever it is a highly critical point, right? Because it will completely change your life based off the decision that you make. And so if we want to speak scripturally about points at which certain people were at a crossroad for Moses would have been the burning bush. A crossroad for Esther, that would have been when Haman came to her and said, hey, what are you going to do concerning this edict that has been issued against your people? For David, it was the battlefield. And so when we look at, and even for Joseph, hey, Joseph, it's time for you to go to the king's palace. He could have been like, I don't want to go. I don't want to interpret dreams from nobody else no more, whatever. And so these were highly critical points. And if you know those stories, if you know what happened in their stories, the decision they made at that point literally completely changed their lives. And so right now you're at a point where the decision you make will completely change your life. And so the Lord began bringing me back to the prophetic word that I issued October 1st of this year. A lot of you may have seen it. It's titled Within 3 Days. I was like, within 3 days. The Lord was saying that when it's time for you to move forward, when it's time for you to go to the next thing, that the Lord is going to give you a 3-day notice, just as Joshua gave a 3-day notice to the Israelites. Well, for some of you, this is the Lord issuing your 3-day notice. Amen. And so what also came along with that, the Lord said this will happen within the last 3 months of the year. Well, we're here in the last month. And here he is presenting that same prophetic word before some people today. All right. And during that time, and even during this time, he continued to show me 111. But what was different for this time is the 2 words he spoke, crossroads and also delay. And so when you're at a crossroads, I really want you to visualize this with me. Whatever journey you've been walking with God, going around the wilderness, whatever it is, you have finally reached the Jordan. That's your crossroads. Now we know that when the Lord said, the land that I give you to possess, you must ensure that it was certain protocols that had to be followed. You don't just walk into the promised land and start serving any type of a God. You just spent all of this time in the wilderness, having to have your heart tested to prove that even when circumstances are hard, that you will still serve the Lord. So there's this great blessing on the other side of this crossroads, but the Lord has already given you the requirements to go into it. In Jeremiah 6:16, it says, there's a crossroad before you. Seek the Lord concerning the ancient path. The ancient path is, what did he tell you to do? He told you not to serve any other gods. He told you when you go into this thing, don't you forget about me. He said, do not forget that it is the Lord your God who has given you the ability to produce wealth. See, where you're at is a highly critical point, because you either can go backwards into the wilderness or you can be launched forward into your destiny. All right, there was a word he gave me last year that said he's spearheading you forward on an arrow called destiny, a very beautiful word. But what the Lord wanted me to talk about is, so now that you're at this point, you're at the Jordan, you are getting ready to cross over. Delay. What can delay you when you are at the point of breakthrough, when you are at the point of accessing everything it is the Lord said you would access over these last few years? What could delay you? Emotions, the enemy coming in and tempting you with things from the past, counterfeits. The Lord even showed me, and this was hard, but he had to show me. He said, years ago, you were supposed to be where you are now long ago, but the enemy, he came in and used weed to delay you. How many of you are still smoking weed? And the Lord is sending me to tell you that that is a tool from the enemy to delay you. I know what the world says about weed, but I have now seen the spiritual ramifications of smoking weed. You're not just slowing down your brain and the physical to chill. You are slowing yourself down in the realm of the spirit and coming into agreement with a spirit of stagnation and delay. When you decide to text that boy and slide back into sin, or to watch pornography, you are coming into an agreement not only with the spirit, giving access to unclean spirits in your purified body that the Lord has now cleansed, but you're also in a place where you're coming into agreement with backwardness. When you are at a point of breakthrough, the enemy wants to latch your foot. He wants to pull you backwards. He will do whatever it is it takes to get you into that point. Now, I'm not here glorifying the enemy, saying he has all this power. No, but what I'm saying is you are at a crossroads. When I got on here, the Spirit of the Lord just got so heavy on me. He's like, they have to know the importance of where they are. And I would even encourage you guys over these next 3 days, the people who this word is for. So that's Monday, Tuesday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. Fast. Do Sunday to Wednesday. Whatever the Lord leads you to do. Fast. Seek the Lord. Get into his presence. Stay in his presence. Envelop yourself. Conceal yourself in the presence of the Lord. Because some of you, you're crossing over. That's the goal. But you must know that you're at a crossroads. And at a crossroads, there's all of these traps to cause delay. Will you decide to take the road across to the promised land and do what it is the Lord is requiring you to do and stay in his presence and say, God, because these are big blessings that's coming. Some people, I've been in my wilderness season, there's been times while I've been in my wilderness season where I definitely slid backwards. Thank the Lord for grace. And that's why you kept cycling back. But now is the time where it's like the Lord has been showing me how the enemy comes in to just attack you to bring you backwards. Be very watchful of your dreams. The Lord is letting you know how the enemy wants to pull you back. And so I just wanted to release that word to you all, that you are at a crossroads. And that for you, if this word is for you, within 3 days, you're crossing over. But remember, that's the word. This is a conditional word. It's based off what you decide. It's based off what you do. There's different types of prophecies. This is a conditional prophecy. So my recommendation from God is, as you are preparing yourself to cross over, sanctify yourself, consecrate yourself, get into the presence of the Lord, whether it's I don't know what type of fast you'll do whatever the Lord has you do, right? But this is just a recommendation with this word so that you can stay in God's presence and so that you can stay cognizant of the different attacks that the enemy is attempting to trap you in this hour. Surely we know the Lord will deliver us from the snare of the fowler, but do you want to be delivered from the snare of the fowler and then be brought right back into the wilderness? Or would you rather just avoid the trap altogether? I love you all so much. And if this word has blessed you and you know someone in your life that has either been speaking about the Lord, showing them the number 1 of leaven, or maybe they're like, I just feel like I'm crossing over into something so big right now. This is a right now word. And when I say it's a serious word, it's a serious word. So take it to the Lord in prayer, confirm the spirit behind it. And I love you all so much, and I'll talk to you later.